In the shadowy corridors of human history, there are tales that are harder to tell, heavier to hold, and yet crucial for understanding the depths and heights of the human spirit. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl is one such tale. A profound exploration of resilience, purpose, and the indomitable human will. Today on Bibliophile Broadcasts, we delve into this extraordinary testament to courage and conviction. So sit tight as we journey through a story that is as heartrending as it is inspiring. If you're new here, we delve into the world of literature, exploring the stories that shape our world and the lessons they hold. If that sounds like your cup of tea, do consider subscribing and joining our community of book lovers. First, imagine yourself an eminent psychiatrist in the belly of the bleakest beast humanity has ever known, the Holocaust. Here, amidst the barbed wires of concentration camps, the very fabric of existence is torn apart. The world you knew, the life you led, and the identity you held are all reduced to a mere number tattooed on your arm. Such was the reality of Viktor Frankl, an Austrian psychiatrist who endured the horrors of Auschwitz and other Nazi concentration camps. But Frankl's story, although etched in the harshest lines of human suffering, is not about the death of spirit. Instead, it's a remarkable narrative about finding a meaningful life, even in the most lifeless corners of despair. In the heart of Vienna, Austria, on a spring day in 1905, a child was born. His name was Viktor Frankl. Little did the world know that this child would grow up to touch the lives of millions with his wisdom and resilience. As a young boy, Viktor was curious and introspective, always pondering the mysteries of the human mind. His fascination led him to the study of psychology, and he found himself in correspondence with the legendary Sigmund Freud. This marked the beginning of his lifelong quest to understand the human desire for meaning. As the years passed, Viktor's passion for psychology deepened. He pursued a career in medicine at the University of Vienna, specializing in neurology and psychiatry. His early years were filled with academic achievements and a growing reputation in the field of psychotherapy. But the world around him was changing. The shadows of war were looming, and in 1942, his life took a tragic turn. Just 9 months after his marriage, Viktor, his wife, and his parents were seized by the Nazis. They were sent to the Theresienstadt concentration camp, a place where humanity was forgotten, and survival was the only goal. In the cold, harsh confines of the camp, Viktor's father succumbed to starvation and pneumonia. The loss was devastating, a wound that would never fully heal. Over the next 3 years, Viktor was moved between 4 different concentration camps, including Auschwitz and Kaufering, a subsidiary camp of Dachau. Each day was a battle against despair, each moment a struggle to hold on to hope. In Auschwitz, the darkest of all places, he was stripped of his identity and reduced to a mere number. His mother and brother were taken away, their lives extinguished in the gas chambers. His wife, Tilly, was moved to Bergen, Belsen, where she later succumbed to typhus. The pain of these losses was unbearable, a constant reminder of the cruelty of the world. In the concentration camps, food was scarce and often barely edible. The prisoners were given a meager ration of watery soup and a small piece of bread, which they had to make last for the entire day. Despite the hunger and the constant threat of death, Viktor found a way to survive. He would save a small piece of his bread ration for the end of the day, a ritual that gave him something to look forward to and helped him maintain a sense of hope. But amidst the unimaginable horrors of the concentration camps, Viktor made a profound observation. He noticed that those who could find a purpose in their suffering, who could see a meaning in their existence, were more likely to survive. This realization became the foundation of his life's work. Logotherapy, a form of psychotherapy that emphasizes the human search for meaning. When the war ended, only 9 men from his original group of 1,500 had survived. Viktor was one of them. He returned to Vienna, a city bearing the scars of war, just as he did, but he refused to let his experiences break him. Instead, he channeled his pain into his work, dedicating his life to helping others find their purpose. He became head of the neurology department of the General Polyclinic Vienna Hospital and established a private practice in his home. In the quiet solitude of his home, he began to write. He penned down his experiences in the concentration camps, his reflections on life, suffering, and the human quest for meaning. His book, Man's Search for Meaning, was a testament to the indomitable human spirit. It spoke of hope in the face of despair, resilience in the face of suffering, and the relentless human capacity to find meaning in life, no matter the circumstances. Frankl, in his existential flight of transformation, brings us face to face with the most fundamental question: why continue to live when everything seems lost? The answer, Frankl suggests, lies in a purposeful existence. And this purpose, this meaning, is not an abstract concept floating in a metaphysical void, but something each one of us can discover in our everyday lives. Diving into Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, we are met with concepts that are woven into the very fabric of human experience. While Frankl's journey is steeped in the atrocities of concentration camps, the essence of his message transcends his circumstances, finding resonance in every heart that has ever sought to understand the meaning of life. Frankl's journey into the abyss of human suffering reveals a startling truth. Even in the bleakest conditions, the human spirit can find reasons to continue. This is where the idea of logotherapy, the central theme of the book, makes its appearance. Logotherapy, derived from the Greek word logos, which means meaning, is predicated on the belief that our primary motivation in life is to find meaning. One of the major tenets of logotherapy, and one that Frankl often emphasizes, is that life has potential meaning under any conditions, even the most miserable ones. He illustrates this point through poignant anecdotes from the concentration camps, showing how those who had a reason to live often survived against staggering odds. Frankl suggests that we can discover meaning in 3 different ways: through work, love, and suffering. By work, Frankl does not merely imply professional endeavors, but anything that gives us a sense of accomplishment. This could be painting a masterpiece, solving a complex problem, or even helping someone in need. These activities endow our lives with a sense of purpose, illuminating the path we tread in our search for meaning. Then there's love. For Frankl, love is not a mere emotion, but a path to understanding the very essence of another human being. By loving, we see the potential in others, which gives our lives a sense of purpose and direction. Frankl shares stories of prisoners who survived by holding on to the image of their loved ones. This emotional connection, he argues, can be a potent force in our quest for meaning. But what about suffering? How can pain and anguish ever lead to meaning? Here, Frankl draws from his horrific experiences in the concentration camps. He suggests that when we cannot avoid suffering, we can still choose how to cope with it, find meaning in it, and move forward with renewed purpose. Frankl himself finds a purpose in his suffering, to survive and tell the world about the life in concentration camps. Through the lens of logotherapy, Frankl reframes our perspective towards life and its inherent challenges. Instead of seeing life as a series of problems to be solved, he invites us to view it as a continuous process of finding meaning. Our lives, he suggests, are essentially a series of questions that life poses to us. And our task, quite simply, is to answer these questions through our actions, our values, and our resolve to endure. But what if we can't find meaning? Here, Frankl offers another nugget of wisdom. He urges us not to despair, but to be patient, for meaning, much like life itself, unfolds in its own time. It's the search for this meaning, this purpose, that makes life worth living, especially when confronted with suffering. To conclude, Frankl contends that meaning can be found in life in 3 different ways: by creating a work or doing a deed, by experiencing something or encountering someone, and by the attitude we take toward unavoidable suffering. This trifecta becomes the foundational pillars of Frankl's philosophy. The profound wisdom of Frankl's work has inspired millions around the world, illuminating paths in the darkest alleys of despair and reminding us of our inherent capacity for change and transformation. Man's search for meaning is not merely a book, but a beacon of hope that lights up the human spirit in its quest for meaning, making us realize that even when faced with the unthinkable, we can choose our response. Viktor's journey came to an end on September 2, 1997, when he died of heart failure in Vienna. But his legacy lives on. His life, his work, and his words continue to inspire and guide us in our own search for meaning. His story is a reminder of the power of hope, the strength of the human spirit, and the profound impact of one man's search for meaning. That brings his story is a testament to the power of the human spirit to endure, to find meaning in the midst of suffering, and to choose hope over despair. It is a story that brings tears to our eyes, not just because of the immense suffering he endured, but because of the beacon of hope he became. In the darkest corners of the concentration camps, amidst the deafening cries of despair, Viktor found a spark of hope. He held on to it, nurtured it, and allowed it to guide him through the most horrific experiences imaginable. He lost his family, his freedom, and nearly his own life, but he never lost his unyielding belief in the power of meaning.